It's that we in Iran recognize how much the spirit of comity.
And Strickland, you've chosen Iran.
I feel their foreign bride comes to Iran, but she doesn't understand the language or the customs. And there is a misunderstandings and laughs.
That, and he's been spotted in Afghanistan, Bosnia, Iraq, Iran, Beirut, and Cambodia.
Americans were outraged, and Iran and anyone around
was once our embassy.
The actions of Iran have shocked the civilized world.
But these people are from Iran, and they don't really know that they're offering too much.
Anywhere in this circle, Russia, Armenia, Iran, Kazakhstan.
Contending for Best Foreign Language Film tonight, movies are from Belgium, Israel, Poland, Canada, and Iran.
China, Syria, Iraq, Iran, the U.S.
Kids. Are there starving kids in Iran?
A Separation, Iran, Oscar Farhadi.
The exiled Shah, now in a New York City hospital, leaves the United States any place other than Iran. Harsher decisions will be taken against.
The presidents of Iran, Russia, Israel, and France have all agreed to your terms.
The terrorists want freedom from repression for the Arab-speaking part of Iran called Arabistan.
They say General Rostami is going to be the next president of Iran.
This is the Persian Empire, known today as Iran.
The real threats will come from China, Russia, Iran, and there'll come as sequel injections and malware.
They welcome all the hostages to be martyrs for the great Islamic State of Iran.
The 74th day of captivity for 50 Americans in Iran.
They are demanding the release of 91 Arabs held in prison in South Iran.
To free 52 Americans held captive in Iran.
Understand, we can't release prisoners in Iran.
The situation in Iran this morning was unchanged in regard to the hostages.
They demand the release of 91 Arabs held in prisons in Iran.
The second lie was us believing we could have a life as Iraqis in Iran. They escaped by crossing the border to Iran.
There were no nuclear weapons in Iran.
But there will be.
This is a lot more plausible than foreigners who want to go be teachers in Iran.
I'm sure there's some skinny kids in Iran.
I mean, China, I can understand, or Russia, or Iran.
For Iran, of course, a nuclear weapon is off the table.
5 years ago, I was escorting a nuclear engineer out of Iran.
Fucking Obama did this whole thing so we go to war with Iran, bro.
He then began a campaign to westernize Iran, enraging a mostly traditional Shiite population.
Eventually, we realized we were never going to make it in Iran.
همه تو این خونه دوستای ایران هستن.
Heading into Iran.
He covered the Russians in Afghanistan, the hostages in Iran, and in 1981 became anchor of the CBS Evening News.
He's going to make peace with Iran because he has friends there now.
Fucking so Obama could send us to war with Iran. Guys, I think the other team figured it out.
Iran. Here or anywhere in the world, Canada will pay for this violation of the sovereignty of Iran.
From Iran, A Separation, directed by Oscar Farhadi.
As the art collection of the Shah of Iran.
You said Iran. I said Pakistan.
NBC's situation in Iran has changed, however.
On Mossadegh in Iran. We were in Vietnam in 50.
Oh, we're shooting in Iran.
Right now, outside.
Qum in Iran. We can take him with us.
Right now, we need to figure out how to get this thing off without blowing myself to Iran.
Same goes for your clients outside Iran.
Latif Yahya is dead. He died in Iran.
Iran is 100% not in a pre-revolutionary state.
Iran with an N.
Iran or Iraq? Libya.
Iran, Pakistan, Syria, where is it?
I thought maybe I could go back to Iran, study medicine there.
Iran scam HUD El Salvador.
Pentagon thought that Iran had a nuclear bomb, so we sent it to you.
Specialist guys come here to train us when we fight Iran.
Tell them our bosses are looking at their demands, trying to contact Iran.
He's going to think that I got killed in Iran.
The exiled cleric Ayatollah Khomeini returned to rule Iran.
Then we go to the consulate and say, hey, we want to look at Iran too.
The nearest camp is in Iran.
Iran!
In 1950, the people of Iran elected Mohammad Mossadegh, a secular Democrat, as prime minister.
Iran.
I'm trying to build an 800-mile pipeline through Turkey, past the terrorists In Iraq, Iran, and Syria?
Iran.
In a speech today, President Bush said that contrary to reports, he has no plans to attack Iran.
In 1979, the people of Iran overthrew the Shah.